Okay, guys, how we doing? Sam here with you. It's Friday, the 9th here, and of course we're gonna take a look at Bitcoin. So here I'm gonna not spend a whole lot of time historically here on what, just maybe a bit of review. Just the idea that we're kind of tentatively putting the 2 here based on the price action as we see it here. The hesitation is, well, one, as we've talked about previously, it's the depth of the retracement. All right, so it's not that it's unheard of here, and certainly the structure appears to be having had some influence in the what you'd call that a double bottom down here as we tested down here. So it's not 12 to 15% of wave 2s are that shallow, right? Would not make the 50. It's less the depth of retracement that concerns me a little bit. Is more so I'm concerned about the length of time to put the 2 here, given the length of time of the impulse here. If it's gonna stay as the 1, if this is gonna be the 2. It's a very abrupt correction of such a long impulse. So I'm putting it here, right? So until proven otherwise, but recognize there's certainly the possibility here that something. Well, so we've got a 3-wave structure here. This is teeing up to be an impulse, but if we had something like this, if we had an ABC in here, we could still end up with something bigger coming down here to more typical wave 2 zones over here. Now, I'm not necessarily forecasting that. It's just I need a little bit more data to really lock in here that the 2 is in. So let's just break into that a little bit here, and I'll show you what. Kind of what's leading me to, one, have made an adjustment to the count per the price action we're currently seeing, and just kind of thinking right through all the possible scenarios here. So this is an 8-hour. We'll go to a 1 hour here. Let's look at this. So just a quick review here. So if you're looking at this, right? So if you're looking at it, I'm on the 1 hour here. If you're looking on higher time frames, this really what you see here is a 3, right? If you were on a daily, if we were on a daily, or even 12-hour high, it's very easy to look at this and think, oh, I've got a 3, 3, 5. All right, so I've got a flat. Now, I'm counting this differently for a couple of reasons. One, in a true flat, if you're going to stick to Elliott's guidelines here, and is it a guideline? Is it a rule? That's open to interpretation here. If you're trading this as a flat, so thinking 3, 3, 5. Well, the ideal setup for a flat would have the B wave retracing 90%. Now here we only get the 786. So is that enough to disqualify it? Well, right, purists would tell you yes. Now, I think there is a workaround here, because you can, if you open it up enough, you can get a diagonal in here. And this is the count that I've been leaning into because it solves that problem. And we talked about this last week. So there is a 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5 is it's not ideal. You got to work it as an ABC, but I can get a leading diagonal in here. See, the problem is there's nothing perfect, right? So is that ideal? No, it's definitely not, right? So particularly the 5, are we stretching there? Maybe, but it relieves the problem. So here, if it's a 5, if it's a leading diagonal, now we just have a zigzag. So we get a 5, 3, 5, right? So that's which tees us up for the 2 here. Now, we had looked at the possibility here, in fact, a week ago. I guess I have to go here. Let me go to maybe a 3-hour here. We can see this. A week ago, we were looking at this thinking, oh, okay, we're going to ABC. This looked at that moment in time more like we'd gone AB. We're going up for a C here. So it looked like possibly we had gone ABC into a W. Now we were looking for an X. Well, while we haven't eliminated that entirely, if this resolves higher, and that this triangle is implying a higher resolution, now that doesn't guarantee it, but it's certainly the implication, right? So everybody on the planet that trades Bitcoin is looking at that triangle going, oh, well, that's going to break higher. Well, right? Maybe, right? Let's not make any, with Bitcoin, no assumptions, right? Right now, that looks like it's teed up to go there. So you look and you think, okay, well, I think when we were last looking at this, we were considering the idea that we had an A, B, C, and we were up here, and we were considering putting the X wave here. So we were waiting at that time to see if we can make the 618. All right, and I think we were right about here a week ago approximately. What last video I did on Bitcoin. So we're thinking, oh, okay, A, B, C, right? We qualify, we get, right? Even though we break the 65, it's ideal for an X wave. So you'd be thinking, oh, because you can get 5 here. So we were thinking A, B, C. Well, now that would set up the idea of an A, B, C to finish. So if it was W, X, Y, we're looking for an A, B, C to finish. Well, it's not what we got here. So this now looks, the idea this could have been an ABC for the X wave. Now it does appear, if this is going to resolve higher, that we've got to count this as 1, 2. There's my impulse of 3. I've gone into a triangle. That implies a break to the upside, which would give us the 5 here, eliminating the possibility that this, at least at this point in time, could be an X wave, right? We can't have an impulse here. Now, the 4 relative to the 2, I know, all right, it's not ideal. I don't see another way to count it. So is there one? Probably, no doubt. There are going to be multiple Elliotticians counting this differently, although from this pivot here, this is very characteristic of a 4. And it eliminates the possibility that we've gone A, B, C here, because we absolutely cannot, not a guideline, it's a rule, cannot have a triangle in the second. So you can't be thinking A, B, C is in here, even though I've got that impulse, right? So it would qualify because a triangle eliminates that possibility, which drives you to the idea that the 4 is going in here, and we're pushing up for the 5 to complete an impulse, even though it's a little funky on the shaping. So we get a clean 1, a very deep 2. All right, no question. Whoops. Now note here as we come up to this, right? The market is dealing with a number of things here. So 1, we have the golden zone. Right now we've had a slight break here. All right, so we've lost the sell side algos that they're trying to push. It is a very slight break. You've got the confluence as we hover right between the 50 and the golden zone, and the set of median lines, and then, by the way, that happens to be the point of control here in visible range. It wouldn't change much even if I just looking at the correction. So here's point of control right as we sit here. So the market's a little indecisive here, but yet again, as I was just commenting here, the triangle is absolutely implying higher prices. So what's the danger here? Well, part of the danger is that looks easy. So you're like, oh, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's okay. It's a little funky on the 1, 2, but that's a triangle, and I know that's going to break higher, so I can just be a buyer here. Well, so of course with Bitcoin, nothing's easy, right? You got to be a little bit cautious about that thinking, oh, I can just buy it here. Well, one, you're buying it even despite the fact that we had just a very slight break here. You're buying right into a median line, right into a golden zone. Don't assume anything with Bitcoin, all right? So granted, we're going into the weekend, right? We can anticipate likely there could be some volatility over the weekend, and we've got the possibility here that we're back to revisit the median line. Could be here, could be right here, could do it, could pop up here. There's no way to know here. But we can use some swing relationships here, looking for typical wave relationships that we might anticipate here. But if this is going to come up here and kick as that 5, which is that would be, let's call it the path of least resistance, that we break out of this and push higher. Well, don't forget that this golden zone is right close by here. So even though those little wicks broke it, it's not a decisive break. So actually, if you just looked at the closing bars, we stay within it. It's just those wicks that got through. So, again, don't assume anything with Bitcoin. Let it confirm. So for me, I'm not dying to buy this. One, I'm plenty long, so I'm not dying to. But if I confirm up here, I'm going to feel a whole lot better about working backwards into that. I've got a 1, 2 here because it's a little unusual given the length of time of the 2 relative to the 4. Right, we're back to symmetry issues. But it does play. This is very deep, but we don't overlap, so we don't invalidate the count here. Normally, ideally you'd want this to be more like this. So you'd had 1, 2, 3. Here's your triangle 4. So it's more connected. This is a big gap. it's essentially it's a double bottom. This is a big gap to be tying the 4 back to this 2, but right now that is the count that appears to be underway here. Now we got to confirm it. We're getting much help in the oscillator, so you could make a case here that the Elliott oscillator being the peak here, so we're higher than here, so we've come back down to around 0 where you'd look for anticipating the contraction into the wave 4. So you can make a case here. There's plenty of room on the RSI. We've had declining buy volume here as we work through the triangle, but it would not take much for here to kick that up and give you that increase, and what you'd prefer to see as the market's rallying is consistently increasing levels of buy volume here if buyers are going to take control. So it's all there. It's all set up. Now, as I was saying earlier, we cannot eliminate the possibility that something else is happening here. So if this were going to be reclassified, just so that we consider this possibility, if this were going to go W and we were going to have an X up here, and then we were going down into a Y to finish down here, oh, well, you got to kind of think about that symmetry here. So let's just assume that we go up here and we finish that 5 there. Okay, so that would give me either it's a 1. Okay, so either the 2 is in, right, back here, 2 is in, and this is the 1 wave of the 3rd wave at the next degree, right? So if this is 1, 2, we're just putting in the 1 wave. Well, shit. It could be the 1 wave of the 1 wave of the higher degree. There's just no way for us to be definitive about that, but some sort of an impulse is potentially here set up to complete. So what are the alternates? Well, there is a possibility that we go A, then down for a B, and then we go up for a C. Then we could still, God damn it, we could still have an X wave here. Then come down for an A, B, God damn it. Sorry, guys, that just bugs the shit out of me. Okay, so 1, 2, A, B, C. So just laying it out, right? So A, B, C. Now we've got a corrective structure, A, B, C would put you down here deeper, approaching the 20. It looks like it's going to take a shitload of time if you start to map that out. So it would certainly, here, let's just play it out. Let's say we did this. Okay, so this is going to be the low here of our W. Well, if we can get the X can go, oh shit, we can go past the 1 wave high. We could have an expanded X wave. It's possible. So we could have an A, B, C here. So if we just think about putting an algo pull on that. So let's say we stop here, come to the golden zone here, go up to the target here for an ABC. That's still a candidate for an X wave. Then you're thinking A, B, C to bring it down here. Let's get that off. Now stepping back to that 8 hour, all right, and put the whole thing back together. We can't eliminate this. Right, now you've come down in an ABC here, and you're into more typical what you'd anticipate here for a wave 2. Now the 2 is getting put over here. Now, so again, I remind you, I'm a raging bull on Bitcoin, right? No, everybody knows that. So, I should say everybody watching here that has watched before knows that I'm a bull. I've been a bull since this low. Let's get that tightened up here. And again, not because of any brilliant foresight I had into the fundamentals. It was, as I've shown you guys many times, but just for the idea that we had someone here who's new to our analysis here, and they were watching here. That's the only thing that had me become bullish here, right? When we hit this long-term target here, is not right. It's not like I'm one of there are these people that, oh my God, I called the low and now I've got. Right, it was I teed that up from the second that was there. That was potentially the target here. Now, did I know that was going to be the absolute low? Of course not. But as the market started to move away, it made it much more likely that we had a hard low here. Talk about a reaction off of an algo target. Pretty substantial. Okay, so not to digress too far into that. Okay, so I just want to make that point here because I think everybody's starting to get a little bit overly bullish here. Like, oh, okay, we're in the clear. If that triangle resolves higher, the 1's in. Maybe. All right, let's just be prepared. Have an alternate, at least one alternate somewhere, so you're not locked into only seeing the market through one lens. Right now, people have suggested that I'm guilty of that myself. You got to pick a side here until the market invalidates you here. But right now, I don't see any reason to assume anything other than that this impulse completes. I know you can't see it in there, that this impulse completes. And then it's a question of what happens next, right? Do we come A, B, and this, fuck. Here, let's do it this way. Do we come, so if this completes here, do we come 1, 2 and get the big 3? You can't really confirm this until you get that. Until you've come through the assuming, right? Assuming we complete the impulse, we go through the correction, then we go into a substantial wave 3 here at some degree here. Remember, the X can go higher here. The X can go, but it's not going to go 1618. So if we go up to those upper targets, right, on the idea that we're 1, 2, and we get a true 1618 here, well, then you can lock and load it back here that the 2 was in, right? And then we can eliminate the alternate of a WXY at a larger degree going. Now, it's going to take, some things are going to need to happen, right? There's going to need to be some interference in the market, I think, rather than just to allow this to naturally progress. For us to be back down here at some of these lows, something's going to need to change in the marketplace. So I'm not. This would not be my primary. I'm showing you my primary. My primary has this going 1, 2. But until we eliminate that, just stay cautious. So back to the smaller count down here as we look at this. There is a possibility here. We're not completely out of the woods here because the triangle is not, as is so often the case with Bitcoin, it's not perfect. Let me zoom in here and just show you what I mean here, and then we'll wrap up. How am I doing? 16 minutes. Okay. So part of the problem is the proposed D wave here. So the A, B, C, and the A, that's pretty easy to spot. A, B, C, and the B, just fine. You'd have to go A, B, C into the C wave here. Now the D is a little bit of a stretch. Let me change that color so you can see it. The ABC of the D is a little suspect here. So there is the possibility here that the E is going to pop over here, and you're going to end up with, let me change that the D might come up here. So you'd have, well, fuck, I don't like that as much. So as you ABC here, because that's straight, but it's possible we could do it this way. We could go A, B, C into the D before you had a little A, B, C here. That would be atypical, but can't rule it out. So just don't just go balls deep here if we break that trend line. It's a little suspect. So the first thing, you can see the B wave doesn't make the trend line. The D wave does, right? So an underthrow on the B, not a triangle killer, but it's the D. I don't love the D. All right, so we shall see, right? This now for the E to underthrow, very common, right? That's of all the legs of a triangle, that'd be the most typical to underthrow here. Right now, if we break through that, you want to see it break here with some good volume and a substantial bar here. You know, there are going to be stops up. Well, there'll probably be stops at each of these pivots here. So you want to see a big rip come out of here just to solidify and crush any shorts here. You want to see a big rip out of here. Big volume, nice up close, closing on at the top third of the bar, you know, if you or higher. You want to see a good rip here to confirm that this is going. And we're not just going to noodle around in here and go sideways, you know, sooner or later, right? Something's got to break. We're running out of room, right? This could break right here while I'm recording it. I mean, we could, so, you know, late afternoon on a Friday, wouldn't shock me if we were to break here. All right, so approach with caution here. One other thing just to point out here. If we're thinking about targets and where this could be going at this degree, well, you can use your traditional targets here. I'm making this too hard to spot here. Let me get this off of here. All right, so, okay, I think you can see most of that. All right, here's all I'm after. So let's go with the length of the 1 projected from the 2, well, pardon me. Well, if we go from the 2 low, we've just come up to the 1618, 175. So it's a little shy of it, but that certainly would be a candidate here. That's part of what had us thinking, oh, it's either A, B, C or 1, 2, 3, the depth or how far we go here. So a few ticks shy of the 618, I'll plant a 3 on that. And then going into this triangle, now the question is, what are we going to use to project? I'm going to use the lower pivot. So if I'm going from the length of the 1 and I'm projecting for, I got to pick something in the 4, I'm going to do the most conservative, which would be the lowest pivot. So that gives me sort of a combination target up here. I'm going to leave the A off of here just for the time being. So if this is going to go up here and we're going to get that target, well, look, we're going to bump right into the prior B high. All right, so well, 1, there'll be stops there, but 2, you might find a little resistance prior to getting there. But then additionally here, let's see, is there another pull here I can get? No, I don't. I think that would be the best way to measure forwards. This has got a little sloppy here when I moved it. Looks pretty tight. Okay, so if we're going to go up here and work towards some of these upper targets here. Now, nothing says we have to stop here, right? That's just a common target. For the 5, for parity, again, now I'm projecting, so it's parity from this pivot to this pivot is going to equal the length of the 1. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Then how do we respond if we get up here? Do we do it in 3? If we come down here, at that point, you still cannot confirm. Is it A, B, or 1, 2? No way to know until you see what follows. All right, so it's going to be very interesting over certainly as we come through the rest of the summer and go into the fall as to what's happening here in this relationship. It's interesting. We also looked at total 2, market cap less Bitcoin. That is ugly. That is just, we are alt season. Looks shaky at the moment. I'm not saying it's not going to come, but it does not look like it's coming anytime soon. I hope I'm eating those words, but it doesn't appear that way. So there you go. I think that's likely where we're headed here. Be realistic about how far that can go. All right, so even just thinking about some of the structure up here, we got a little. If you just think up in the air here. Right, so you could consider that supply, right? You don't have much resistance here because we didn't stay there for long. So if we get up into this level, if you're trailing with stops, something to think about here. That wouldn't be the end of the world if you got up here and get a little retrace, took you out, and assuming if you bought it here. I'm not dying to buy that, so I'm going to let that confirm, right? Which makes me feel better about the impulse here because I don't love the 1, 2 relative to the 4. But if that confirms up here, which it seems likely, if that confirms, this is the trade I'm waiting for, right? I'll let that confirm. Show me you're the 1. Down we go. Then assuming this is technical, right? So we get something along these lines, right? Then that would fit in just nicely from here. Again, I don't have this, but just using that, there's the trade that I'll wait for. That's the big one that I want because now we're going into the 3. Well, it's either the 3 of the 1 or the 3 of the 3. For Bitcoin, it could be the 3 of the 1 of the 3. Show you how bullish I am. Okay, there you go, guys. All right, we'll see how that plays out. It's going to be interesting to see how we sit, how this resolves, right? If it resolves over the weekend, we could go sideways all weekend. But if we resolve, I think that's unlikely. If we resolve higher, what's the response if the retracement starts? That's the one to be watching. Okay, guys, there you go. Have a good weekend.